I'm very happy to be here. Thank you, Prabhu, for hosting me here. I'm happy to be back in one of the classrooms where we sat and talked. It's 1.5 years here in Europe. I must say it's a beautiful campus. The cherry blossoms are out right now. Came and went. Some cherry blossoms you see here, this for consolation. Paths to transcendence. We see a mountain here, and the climbers want to start from the foothills and reach to the top of the mountain. And there are many paths, correct? There could be many paths to the apex of the mountain. Not all paths will lead to the apex, correct? Some paths just turn round and round and round. They don't go anywhere. Some paths go up and then go down. So even spirituality, we can't just say that by following the church of Hogwarts, we'll go to Krishna. There are churches like that. There are societies like that. Society of Hogwarts and Harry Potter. It's good as a social society, but it won't lead us to the apex, isn't it? So not all paths lead to ultimate Supreme Personality of Godhead Krishna, but many paths can lead. At least that we should understand so that we can be compassionate towards others, also not think that only we know what the path to do. Many paths lead. And some paths, some processes can only lead up to a particular point. After that, we have to change the course. Just like when we climb, we may reach a valley. The valley we have to walk a little bit and then take a steep road. Happens when we have to go to a remote village. Sometimes we have to take trains and then bus and then walk, and then there is a rugged path. So road can take you only to this much, train can only take you to this much, so on and so forth. Similarly, when we are climbing up the mountain, the apex of the mountain may have a mansion or nice tree of life. But to go there, maybe first we have to reach a valley, then change the course, and then climb, and then use that rock climbing, and then finally. In Bhagavad Gita, a similar kind of a path is shown. Where one path can reach up to a particular point, it's quite high, it's not the north highest. Then a particular path will lead up to some higher point, and that's fine. This we call yoga ladder. Ladder, right? There is the importance of every rung. If you don't put the step on the first rung, you will not reach the top. But the first few rungs can lead only up to a particular one. Then you have to take another rungs. Okay? So today, in an infographics manner, it's a lot of graphics here. We will try to do a brief overview of these different paths. The yoga ladder. And remember what's in the map. If you have seen the Europe map also, they say you are here. Every map is there. So we'll try to understand where we could be. So that's the best thing. It's a whole map, different ladders. Hey, where should I be? So that, well, we can progress quickly and easily. Okay, so you're with me so far? But to climb, at least we should be at the foothills, correct? If I'm sitting in Vrindavan and say, oh, let me climb Mount Everest, first I should go to Nepal and the foothills, correct? So at least some basic should be there, right? We're talking about Mandi. Hello, place to go, right? It's beautiful. Now there is a new IIT called IIT Mandi, and we used to joke about it. People like this joke. Few friends from America, well educated, thought of going to a nice scenic place in Himalayas. So they went and they crossed IIT Mandi. And it was so scenic, we just got the offer and joined as faculty. It's actually the most scenic place, but it's also quite landslides keep happening. So to go from Vrindavan to Mandi, I should first go to maybe Chandigarh and then take a cab. At least I should be on the foot here. So that's why Bhagavad Gita says, first, let's come to the basic, which means first, what not to do. Bhagavad Gita starts with what? Vikarma. Now, this karma we know. How many of you are in computer science, in coding and things like that? Oh, almost everybody. There is something called operator overloading, in which one variable can take many things. So this karma is like an operator overloading. It can mean many different things. Karma can mean action. Karma can mean reaction. Karma can mean your destiny, what is in store. So it can mean many things. Similarly, vi can also mean many things. Vi means vishesh. What is vishesh? Special. But vi also means negation. So vikarma is the lowest category where we do not want to. And that's why what is the infographic we have shown here? What does this mean? It's an animal form. Vikarma means pretty much like an animal life. There are a lot of activity, do, lot of penchant for fruits. Today's Ekadashi, fruits, but not those fruits. This is anything. From eating to bitcoins. Anything. Just bring it on. Whatever my activity can generate, I want that. So activity, fruits, but what has been striked off here? Rules. All rules. One of my friends had told me some time back there was a movie called Animal. And he was telling me it flaunted all the rules of civilized life. Pretty much like that. Big karma. We hear of a personality, he is known by the nickname called Wolf. And he grew up in Austria and he had a bad childhood. Then his country was defeated in World War One. So he decided he'll get back. He was a vegetarian, would bathe 4 times a day, can stand like this for 8 hours. The nickname was Wolf. What was his real name? Adolf Hitler. What did he do? At least 6 million Jews. That's ample. No rules. Or the concocted rules that the others are impure, we are the pure ones. So not only rules, but reverse rules. That's Vikarma. Krishna tells us that at least Vikarma we should know. So what should we do? Come to the foothills. Karma Kanda. And there at least now we have come from pause to human beings. There is activity. Activity we all have to do. Fruits, yes, we want to enjoy what we work, right? If the activity is not producing something which is consumable, what's the use of that activity? But we do it. Can anybody guess what I am meaning here by rules?
Follow certain guidelines.
Certain guidelines, great.
Fear.
Huh?
Fear.
Come again?
Fear for some
Fear of-
that.
Okay, so there is fear of some authority. What can be that authority? God. Like even we can come down. Government. So there is a phenomenon which generally societies sometimes when they become strong, they tend to suffer from antinomianism. Nomos means rules. Anti means against the rules. Antinomianism means we are beyond the rules. like Hitler thought, right? Beyond the rules. So here it means a good citizen. Good citizen of the state, good citizen of the country, and a good citizen of the universe. Some rules. Now those rules can be found in Vedas also, right? Because Vedas also talk about the rules. But rules must be followed. Why? Because they set the boundaries where we don't encroach upon others also. Now there are many, many rules, but they can be broadly classified into four. We know this as four regulative principles of freedom. Interesting. It's an oxymoron. Regulative principles, how they foster freedom. But they foster freedom because they don't let the binding of our soul. The Vikar man follows no rules, right? No rules. So person may think he is an animal, or he's acting in a movie called Animal, but internally the soul is bound. And then again, he or she has to come back. But here in Karma Kanda, the basic four rules are followed. First is mercy, which means having a life of as much compassion we can grant towards other living beings, towards our neighbors. So India, there's it may not be here because there are a lot of fines for littering, but there sometimes it is common. The garbage goes where? Neighbor's home. And the neighbor also is, save pe sawa se, as they say in Hindi, right? Put it in the person's home who has thrown. So, no, as much compassion, as much mercy. Second is austerity or tapa. The first is daya, second is tap. What does tap mean? Holding the present benefit for a greater future benefit. Holding for the present, you are holding something, not unleashing fully, so that it can get compound and give you much more benefit in the future, right? What does those things indicate? Well, they may be alcohol or smoke or whatever, but in nutshell, those are quick dopamine shots, right? Quickly we get dopamine. Right now, instant, but it sacrifices the future. So tapa principle is important. Hold on now to that instant dopamine shot we want to give to ourselves. What is dopamine? It's just a neurotransmitter. When a person feels happy or exuberant, that transmitter is rotating in the body. And suppose we feel low, there are two choices. We go for an activity which will elevate us spiritually and then settle us in happiness in a very organic way. Or we can pick up the doomsday scroll. Or doomsday scrolling on the phone, doomsday. Keeps on going, keeps on going. And it does not end. So that is dopamine shot, right? And the problem with those dopamine shots is that we get addicted. And then it's a reverse compound. All of us have the experience. Tapa makes it good now. Third is shaucha or cleanliness. So first is daya, tapa, shaucha, cleanliness. One partner brother. It even goes beyond that. Having, upholding trust and chastity, even between friends. A friend in need is friend indeed. It comes from this principle. Being clean in our dealings, not being, as they say, Prabhu. In the sense, speaking something and thinking something. And what's the last? Satya, truthfulness. This last one is still people respect in today's age. I mean, everything else most of the time is haunted, shouts gone. tapa gone, daya royally gone, but still people are very nervous about Satya, and that's why you see people, right? But that politician is lying. That corporate magnate is lying. Where is this coming from? Which means people still hold on to Satya. And actually, that's why this Satya is a principle which can anchor ours and society of life. So we move from vikarma to karma kanda, which is no rules to rules. Now, in this karma kanda, there is still no semblance of any higher truth or somebody is behind who is orchestrating. It's just karma kanda. It could be Vedas also. Ravana was an expert neural language processor of Vedas. He knew the NLP of Vedas like anything. That's the technology. He mastered that, and he mastered the professors. He kind of bribed the professors of those that technology also, including Brahma. But he had no sort of, okay, somebody is beyond, somebody has to be worshipped. No, it's just a technology in animal form. However, after a person performs karma kanda with rules, certain purification starts happening. And he or she then moves to, according to Bhagavad Gita, this is the next ladder, next rung of the ladder called Sakam Karma Yoga. Yoga comes. Yoga means it's from the Sanskrit root yuj, from which we have yujyate, connect. Connect to whom? The higher reality. Because after following rules of state, government, cosmic level, they start who made the rules. It's a mystical thing. Something starts happening inside. So the person thinks I should connect to the higher principle of yoga. However, this person is still wants fruits for all himself. Other person should not get it. Sir Kam. Sir means with. Kam means desire. Karma means activity. Yoga means connect. So it's the yoga of connecting with desires. However, look what is common. Activity, activity, activity. Fruits, fruits, fruits. No rules. With rules. Here what? With non-rules. Everything is emanating from a supreme. Somebody is supreme, and it's beyond rules. Now he's acting with knowledge. And third chapter of Bhagavad Gita explains about this, that this entire cosmos is being created so that different entities cooperate with each other. This creates a wonderful society, the higher beings and the humans, etc. So that there's a cycle with knowledge. And from this Sakam Karma Yoga, we have come to the foothills, to Mandi, to Nepal, to begin our trek. That's how the yoga begins. Underneath, you're not even on the foothills. So you can't even think about climbing. The yoga ladder actually begins from here. So far, so good? After one executes the Sakam Karma Yoga for a long time, or cultivates the knowledge part here, he or she realizes that I don't need so much which is given to me. I work. Sometimes I get less, sometimes I get more. Should I be worried about what I get as less or more? And if I get more, is it only for me? Abo jiveta yagata. Whatever. I mean, it's actually maybe 2-3 chapatis, right? More. Requirements of a limited human body are limited. So, he moves to the next one. It is Nishkam Karma Yoga. What? Nishkam Karma Yoga. So it's connection yoga. There is karma activity involved, but there is detachment from it. There are no hankering for the fruits. Doesn't mean the person doesn't use them. If you work and get money, paying, whatever, you utilize it for your necessary life survival and keep it for investment and things like that, but you don't hoard it. There is a sense of giving. Let me tell you, that's the most rare. One of my friend he's a devotee and he's a long timer in advising people about wealth management. Stays in Mumbai, has many degrees. So he tells me that earning is easy, but giving is very difficult. Many times in his experience, he told me that people die with a whole lot of wealth behind them and a whole lot of disputes behind them. And sometimes we have seen in countries that a whole lot of wealth remains behind, and the heir to that wealth is the cat of the person. The pet of the person. The person was raising a cat or a dog, and the the whole money goes. That's because till the last moment, the person wants to keep clutching to the possessions, right? But maybe it would be given. As it was earned, it would be given. Even the talent, as it was earned, it could be given for society. So giving very nowadays in companies and all, we do have a culture of giving culture. And giving Tuesday, I don't know. Next Thursday, by Wednesday, we have that culture, right? So we have to create this culture, which means it is tough. That's why Nishkam Karma Yoga is tough. Because there the fruits are replaced by detachment. And knowledge is further, it is multifold, it's many folds. Because now the person thinks that, am I the only one the cause of my fruits? All of us know, right? Are we the only one sole cause of what we are receiving now? No, it's a whole city and a village has stood behind us to make our life successful. Bhagavad Gita gives 5 factors. Adhishtanam, Karta, Karanam, Chaprithak Vidam, Vividas, Cheshta. Adhishtanam means ambience, mahol. If the mahol is not there, it can happen. You need an ambience, isn't it? I cannot sit in a cricket match and say, no, forget it. I'll just board here. And some people do it, but then you need an ambience. Karta, the person who does it. Current, the instruments, like our senses, right? Hands and chesta, endeavor. You have to use a particular strategy to get a fruit, isn't it? All strategies work. And last, Daivam, Chapanchama. Somebody is behind. Even if all 4 things are exactly the same, 5th thing different. The Icha of the there is different, so different things will happen. Hence, a person who is traversing from this foothill of Satam Karma Yoga to Nishkam Karma Yoga will think, it's not only me. It's not about me. Hence, I must give. This Nishkam Karma Yoga is gloriously described in one shloka. Maybe all of you have heard. It's one of the most famous shlokas of Bhagavad Gita. Karmanyevadhikaraste mamaleshu kadasana. Te adhikara, your adhikara is in karmani eva, in work, in activity. Ma phaleshu. Phal, actually sometimes in Hindi we say phal, but pha is a Farsi thing. In Sanskrit it is phal. Phal means fruit. Ma phaleshu. Ma means not. Phaleshu in the fruits. Kadasana. Not in the fruits. So, in activity, yes, you're most welcome to do anything and everything. But all the fruits do not come to you. You can't even enjoy it. That's what Krishna is telling. So, detachment. And somebody say, but how about I'll not work it out? Say, No, you cannot not work. What? You cannot not work because that's the nature. Even if you're not working is also working. You're burning the energy, right? So to get that energy, we have to eat the food. I think we have to gather the food. And the activity of not working is also working. So Krishna is telling what? You can only work. So it's triangulated from you cannot not work, you cannot be attached to the fruits. Hence you can only work as you responsible. So let me tell you that this stage itself, there are no now here inclinations towards God or Krishna. Jada kuch nahi hai, not much is there. Yet this can be very powerful. Just if somebody work as a duty. Of course, not illegal work. Cocaine transporter. No, not that. Because first, all these three things have to be followed also, right? Mario Puzo, Godfather, right? Corleone, gangster as a duty. No, that doesn't work because you're violating all this. First, you have to come to the foothills. There, even if we follow that, the output is one starts having the Atma realization. He or she is not perform. Because this detachment is like a solvent. The solvent sometimes, I don't know, you have the experience, you go into the market or some forest and there are these some trees which secrete white color sap. And let it stick on your skin and not come outside. Rubber, what they call, I don't know. They make rubber out of it. It's a milk sap from the trees. It's very sticky. Or if you are making the road for tar, and the tar is so sticky. Disney became so very fascinated by this idea. They created a small video. Maybe you can go and watch. It's very nice. The Breer fox and the tar baby. So this Breer fox is like any other fox, thinking that he or he is the controller of the universe. So she was jumping and jumping and jumping like that. And he is after a rabbit. The rabbit said, enough of him. Nobody, fox, enough of him. I should create something to show him the lesson. So this rabbit creates a tar baby. A baby, which is shaped like a nice rabbit, but is made of tar. In Hindi called tambar, right? And maybe a cat is put and the eyes are put and this our baby looks like a rabbit. So the fox comes nicely jumping, thinks, aha, nobody's there. Maybe I should have my fruit. So the fox hits the tar baby. Now what happens when you hit the tar? Oh, maybe it won't happen with the other hand. He hits the tar baby again. Oops. Both hands stuck. And both legs. So this is how sometimes we get stuck in life. Just tar baby. Many of the situations are tar babies. Damn if you do, damn if you don't do. But the solvent, Nishkan Karma Yoga, generates this solvent of detachment, which kind of removes this connection. If you have a powerful solvent, you can get rid of the milk sap of the tree as well as the star. And it makes us realize, oh, I'm not the body, not the mind, not any existential situation. I'm spirit, soul. Still, there is no knowledge about Supreme. Huh? It's just Atma realization. And this is the golden virtue of many Eastern traditions. Work as a duty. Give away your fruits. Even Socrates would tell that. Ancient Greek culture. And Prabhupada would say that, yeah, he was Brahman realized. He knew about certain truths which we talk about in the. So that is Nishkam Karma Yoga. Now the journey becomes interesting. After Nishkam Karma Yoga, person is executing for good amount of time, he or she realizes, well, everything is crumbling. I am Atma, the entire body, entire material world, everything crumbles. So why am I doing gymnastics? Why any gymnastics of word? This happens later in life, very rare also, because most of the time we have to work. But if there is a soul like that, he or she will thinking, let's stop work, man. What's the use of work? Everything is crumbling. Why should I go to school? Why should I do? It stopped working. Yeah, Atma realized. So, battery. That. So, then you can see activity is stuck now. No activity. But such a personality now cultivates more detachment. This is a whole lifetime of process. In Sanskrit, it's called neti, na iti, na iti. Anybody of you here with name Neha? No. Neha, we can also na iha. Which is like a person, if he comes to know the name, like scary, like not this. Like Maya, ya, she, that, which is ma, not. That's it's Maya, but that's not. So there's a play of words. Neti means na iti. That person, anything, any experience which comes, he or she tries to, this is not the truth. The truth is something else. There's some story behind. That's the search. There's no activity, just the preoccupation with that search. Okay, that's a kundal. That's the natha, the nose ring. That's the ring. There's something behind it. What that person is searching for? The gold, the noble metal, AU, aurum, right? Gold. He's not interested in the forms. So the detachment is high, knowledge is super high. This is called Jnana Yoga. Jnana Yoga, depending on which part of India you are coming from. Jnana means knowledge. Knowledge that, okay, I am not the body and the soul. I am not the body, I am the soul. But like that, everything has a spiritual substrate behind. This thing is a table, but it is made of in science, molecules, atoms. Break down. But in the end, modern scientists will say it's a string theory. Nowadays, it's a big fascination about 26 dimension string theory. Everything is a vibrating string. And the way the strings vibrate, it generates either this or the laptop. I would really want to have conversation with them and say, you have come so closer to this fantasy. Why don't you allow for Paramatma? Why don't we just allow for Brahman? Like, it's almost same. You can't see the strings. They also vibrate. You are also scratching your head. Life is short. Assume it is Brahman. So for Gyan Yogi, that substrate is Brahman. Different from Brahman. Brahman is a particular category, a particular section of the society who are interested in teaching and learning and yeah, we all have such category people around us, right? Sitting in the corner, just happy with the books. For them, kid in a candy store is proven in a bookstore. So those are Brahman. That is Brahman, but this is Brahman. Which means the substrate behind everything. And a Brahman realized, therefore, doesn't discriminate between anything. The whole world celebration from it. Imagine a person enters into a castle which is made of gold. The knobs are of gold, chairs are of gold, the toilet seat is of gold, everything is gold. And then he realized, I too am. There's no difference there. That is the higher path of Jnana. You're like, yes, go ahead.
What if the difference between Shankan Yoga also has an Atma? Atma and
Yes, good question. I was coming to that. For the Nishant Karma Yogi, he understands he is not the body. He's Atma. And Atma has the quality of being eternal, being full of knowledge, and being full of happiness. When he comes to the Jnana Yoga platform, he understands everything is Brahm, including Atma. That's just including Atma. That's called Brahm, Atma, Aikya, Bodh. Again, that's not complete philosophy. So it's still not the top of the mountain. But a Jnana Yogi thinks everything is Brahman, including me, including this. Then you can ask them, sir, but what is going on now? They said, talk to Christopher Nolan, Inception. Everything is a dream. Correct? Everything is a dream. Everything is covered by ignorance. So you are gold, but you are not thinking you are gold. That's the Jnana Yoga path. But if that soul is fortunate, thank you for asking questions. Is it based on truth? There is some reality to it. Why? As will come later, all reality, the underlying reality is Satchidananda. As we'll understand later on, that Brahman is an aspect of Bhagavan, and Brahman, Bhagavan, Krishna, that's Satchidananda. We also are Satchidananda, but we are time. Krishna is like fire, we are like spulling. You know what is spulling? Spulling is that spark of the fire. So the spark of the fire and the fire have exactly same nature. But what fire can do, the spulling cannot do. Right? Because spulling is teeny tiny. It can be extinguished easily, but the fire cannot. However, in this state, the only focus is to identify with what? Same nature. I am the teeny gold. Brahman is the gold. Is gold. So it's a partial realization. Atma realization is also partial. I am Atma. Jnana realization is also partial, but it is true also. Krishna is also Satchidananda. Does that make sense? We'll see later, a Bhakti Yogi will tell, well, Kundal is made of gold. The nose ring is made of gold. We don't put Kundal, don't swap it, right? The purpose of a nose ring cannot be done by a bangle or an ankle belt. Yes, it's all are made of gold, but they have a different purpose. Okay? After Jnana Yoga, the person may want to move to, and again, if he or she is fortunate, because once Brahman realization is there, it takes something from higher up to pull. And it's almost like you are in a room with high voltage lamps, which are giving you soothing rays. You might just want to go to sleep. Somebody has to grab you out and come outside the room and see that there are personalities. So if this person is fortunate, he may move higher to a state of meditation. What? Meditation is called Dhyana. Again, no activity, right? Jnana Yoga, still no activity. Because the person is moving from Jnana. But his detachment knowledge will increase and meditation will come. On what? Meditation to what? That personality who is feeding us. He has to be first of all fortunate. If he's in a room where he has gone nicely to sleep because everything is gold, I am gold, what do you do? Somebody has to take him outside and see like who created all this gold. There are some personalities also. So in this Jnana Yoga platform, the person starts having a feeling of gratitude. That I am the fed and there is one feeder. What? Feeder and the fed. Ego. Oh. Chetanana. There is a verse in Upanishad which says that I'm just forgetting. Chetanas Chetanana Ego Yo Vidadhati Kaman. Ego Yo Bahuna Vidadhati Kaman. Bahuna, बहुत लोगों का, for many people. Kaman, the desire, Vidadhati, he provides. So he's the provider, we are the provided. That gratitude starts coming. And Krishna describes in Bhagavad Gita, who is that feeder? Is in the heart. Antaryami. As we call him in other ways also, Paramatma. You can see? Paramatma. We can move that a little bit. Yeah. So Paramatma, Atma and Paramatma. Upanishad describes that there are two birds. We as a bird are moving from one material situation to another material situation, hopping to eat fruits. Some are sweet, some are sour, some are bitter, some are stale. The Paramatma is watching and giving us action. Yathechasi tatha karo. Do whatever you want to do. But it's still higher. Still there is no connection. No connection. A personal connection. But we have reached quite high above. Right? There is deeper meditation, there is deeper knowledge, there is deeper detachment. So the pinnacle is now right in the corner. And everybody knows about that. Bhakti Yoga. So I've deliberately tried to use a particular infographic. That's a peacock feather. Because it's a symbol of Sri Krishna, and Bhakti Yoga, you need a personality. Interestingly, the activity comes back. Nishkam Karma Yoga, there's activity, then there's no activity, but the activity comes back. And then there is detachment, knowledge, meditation, and finally a new entry. What's that? Devotion. Devotion is that secret ingredient which kind of now colors it. What does devotion mean? In Hindi, it is bhakti. Bhakti is from a root called bhaj. Bhaj can mean different things. Bhaj means seva. It also means we divide. Divide us and the other. The other is to be served and we serve. Bhanjanam. Bhanjanam also there is a meaning of ras. You know what is ras? Something like you eat nice. In India we have naturals ice cream. Here I don't know. Here maybe Baskin Robbins. But you know, people sometimes if they're eating the most delicious food, and today's Ekadashi, we can have a curtailed meditation on it. But if the food is very nice, oftentimes people forget everything and just I'm focusing on the food and my tongue and the teeth inside. There is some ras. This is bhojya ras. Or even sometimes if you are watching a movie or reading a book, then also there's some ras, some mellow they call it. Bhakti also fosters that. Maybe in a kirtan, maybe in a worship, maybe in front in a yajna, some ras comes, right? So bhaj, bhanjana also means rasana. This is fostered by devotion. In Jnana Yoga, so everything is going. In Dhyan Yoga, it's that feeling of gratitude that Antaryami is there, I am Atma. But in Bhakti Yoga, it's what? Connection. Connection with somebody higher, somebody person, and the connection is also personal. It's a personal connection. So it began with relationship. He is a person, I am also a person. Then let's foster that relationship by doing the process of service, serving. That's how we forge a relationship, right? Love is an active verb. It's not a noun. So sometimes question asks, I'm alone, nobody gives me love. The answer is use the verb form of love. Love others, you will get the noun of the love. Others, that's an active verb. And then you will receive it. Finally, it is loving service. So first there is knowledge, relationship, loving service. These are three technical terms called Sambandh, Abhideya, and Prayojan. And it can be in 5 different ways. I can relate with Krishna, I can relate with the Supreme as a servant. First of all, as an observer, Shantarasa, or as a servant, Dasya, or as a friend, Sakya, or Vatsalya, or lover, Madhurya. These also are there in our day-to-day dealings, right? So, which means the way we deal with each others, if we just change the focal point to Krishna, it becomes what? Devotion. In fact, we use the word devotion in a common language also, right? Oh, he was devoted to X or devoted to Y. Just change the focal point, then it becomes Bhakti Yoga. So here we have the general yoga ladder. First we come to the foothills from Vikarma to Karma Kanda, which means activity, fruits, and no rules, to activity, fruits, and rules with rules. But from Karma Kanda, we become a little spiritual and do what? Sakam Karma Yoga. Sakam, kam means desire, sa means with. So, yes, I have desire, but I know there's somebody behind, there's a higher principle. This is called Sakam Karma Yoga with activity. Yes, I want fruits, but with knowledge. After that, we move from Sakam to Nishkam. Nish means no, Kam means desire. That doesn't mean I don't utilize the fruits which I get out of my activity. But I don't hoard. My principle is detachment. I would like to give it back to the society. So in Nishkam Karma Yoga, it's often given back to for a good cause. Not even to supreme cause, just a good cause. But it leads to Atma realization. And then we move to Gyan Yoga. No activity. I'll just sit in the corner. I'll just interact with everybody that, oh, everything is one and the same. Sarva Kalvidam Brahma. That is Brahman realization. After that, we move to Dhyan Yoga, where we have what? A meditation. That somebody is feeding us. I am the fed, everybody else is the, Krishna is the feeder or Antaryami. Finally, we reach the apex, which is Bhakti Yoga. Activity comes back because now whatever you do, just put a chomp, as they say, right? Chomp of Bhakti. This chomp has interesting history in the temples which were opened in US. There used to be a temple in Canada, Montreal. And one Maharaj I helped in translation, he was narrating the story that how on this side they would, the temple was there upstairs, on this side there was a tavern, tavern, where everybody goes to be high with inflammable substance, alcohol. And then on this side there was a pizzeria or something. And when they would put chalk in the temple above, right, they would announce, now we are putting chalk. Because the chalk was very strong. 3 things would happen. Those who were drinking beers would start thinking that, everybody's drinking such a high, strong beer that their eyes are getting reddened, but it was due to the chalk. And then the people in the pizzeria will start shouting at the temple guys, please reduce your mix levels. And the resident inside would open the windows and just breathe during the time it was chalk was put. But they all said those were fantastic days. This is 1971, 73, like that. Bhakti means strong devotion. Whatever we can do, However, we cannot say I can hold guns, right? Then have a chalk of devotion with a chalk of gunpowder. That doesn't work. Why it doesn't work? Because all these things have to be subsumed inside. These are the basics. If I have to do whatever variational calculus, no need of algebra? No, you must have done algebra. But this looks a very big route, no? You have to begin from here and climb. Wish we had an airport in Mandi. It's a long. So Krishna is merciful, Bhagavad Gita is merciful. They gave us an elevator path. Elevator path. Now, better not the elevator path be from here. Listening, at least we have to come to the foothill, right? And at least this transition we can make. This is easier, right? That all of us are coming from a background, you have all done Gita classes, so there's some understanding there's a higher path. So we do yoga. We are in Satnam Yoga and Nishkam Karma Yoga, somewhere here, generally. And this is an easy transition. So how about if we make an elevator from Nishkam Karma Yoga to Bhakti Yoga? That's what Bhagavad Gita suggests in the 12th chapter. Yeah.
Questions. One is,
Or should I finish and then we take it? I'll be just ending in some time. Okay? Thank you. Thank you for waiting. This is the elevator path. To describe this elevator path, Krishna, instead of starting the elevator from ground to up, he first drops the elevator from the top to the bottom. He says, oh, the best thing which can happen in life, if your mind and emotions, which is called smarana. Smarana means thinking, remembering, is always focused on the divine, Krishna. Actually, emotions are the strongest. We think intellect, but no, it's emotions. People vote with intellect, good luck. I mean, if they vote, it will be great, but no, people vote with emotions. We are all walking emotional banks. So if the emotions, the entire way of feeling and remembering, that's directed towards Krishna, that's the highest. Now Krishna is reducing the bar. Oh, you cannot remember? Okay, think about it. At least intellectually think about it. Suppose an event happened in your life. We were not drawn to remember spontaneously Krishna, but at least we can say, oh, Krishna's hand was there. There was a higher hand. It happens, right? Accident happened, we missed. We missed hitting, we missed damaging ourselves. Or we had a very terrible event in our life, but we come through it in a more mature way. Krishna's hand was there. When somebody tells you, if I give you a time traveler to go behind, would you go back? Say no. Krishna orchestrated that event in my life so that I become a mature person. So this is intellect, right? This is called mananam. So smaranam and then mananam. No, I can't even do that. Okay, why don't you lift some weights? Weights of regulative principles, not those four regulative principles, but here the regulative principles of hearing, chanting, and thinking about in a very regimented manner, right? Is military practice. We do chanting, it's not spontaneous, but we incorporate that in our lives. As for students and corporate also, we have to come to a particular level. It's not spontaneous, it's not a part of muscle memory, but we have to lift the weights. How we drive cars and bicycles. First, we have to look. I remember my childhood, a foolish incident I was involved in. I was learning the bicycle very new to me. And then I was driving, and then I saw from the corner of my eye that I think a newspaper distributor is coming. So they throw, right? Good old days, throwing the newspaper and then you catching it and things like that. Now Doesn't happen. You just throw digital news because. So he was throwing, and look at foolish me. I am not changing the direction. I am shouting. Oh, he's coming behind me, coming behind me, coming behind, because that muscle memory was not there. And then what happened? Boom. Gladly, there was a big, small hill of sand in front of me, so I entered royally into the sand. Why did it happen? Because that muscle memory was not there, turning. But after you practice, it becomes, in Sanskrit, it's called Atmasa. It becomes a pushpa, part of you. And that's what we desire in any stream where we are working also. That it should not be at this level. It should become a part of it so that when we explain, we see it as gooseberry in our arm. Like if there's a gooseberry, amla in my hand, I can do like this, right? So I can see it from all ends. So if I cannot do Manan and Smaranam, I can at least follow some principles. Chanting this much, meditating at this time, reading this much, regimented. Then somebody says, I cannot do that also. So it says, okay, all right. Work for Krishna. Not work for somebody else. You may be working for somebody else also, but have a component of your life, work for Krishna, and better if you can connect everything you are doing with the final intention that it is for. And that's where we have the elevator path connected. What was happening in Ishtang Karma Yoga? Work not for you. The fruits are given to society, good cause. See how it is now easy to turn it, not only for the society, but give it in such a way that it is connected to Krishna. The ultimate intention, it can be still be given to somebody else, but the intention is what? The final beneficiary should be more. Krishna. So from Nishkam Karma Yoga, now instead of going through this big ladder, we can make a small pact. Work for Krishna. That could mean giving whatever we have, talents. Some of us may be good gardeners, so work for Krishna could mean growing tulsi, serving tulsi. Some of us are good like Bahubalis, so you can work for Anand Mela, right? A lot of lifting is required. And some of us are like very intellectual, so we can help in curating materials and making it easily digestible for other people to understand. Work for Krishna. So this is the great benediction of Bhagavad Gita, that it has given us a direct path. That was a general path, maybe take lifetimes, but this is easier. But sometimes easy things are not so easy. So the question comes, all right, where should I situate myself in my life? Mana and Smarana is too higher, at least for me, I can say. Not good to be here, or here. Nishkam Karma Yoga, fine, but there is no Krishna connection. So what can I do easily and what should I do? Remember, I talked about in a map, you are here, but where should we be? So Bhagavad Gita and all the teachers tell us just these two things. This is the crux of Bhakti Yoga. And we can do that. It's very practical. Work for Krishna and regulated principles. Anybody can work for God, right? Just we have to connect it. Suppose I'm earning something and giving it to charity. I should be able to connect it, how it will eventually forge my connection with Krishna. And if not, maybe I should direct it somewhere else. I have particular talent and I'm utilizing it for society. Maybe I should connect it. Intention. And so that happens with the society and with my engagement and my personal home, personal sacred space, regulated principle. My own chanting, my own breathing, just for myself, just for my edification. My own visits to holy place, my own visits to temples. My own interaction with like-minded devotees, that is regulation. So these two things, almost all our scriptures tell us, if we hold on to it, that's it, we are in the right path. We don't have to think, oh, we don't have to wait, Arya, Gyan Yoga, and then Ashtang Yoga. Very okay, so what are the two things? The regulative principles, and we can choose and work for Krishna. Somehow or the other, connect the big vector to Krishna. Or ask if whatever I am doing, is it connected to the root or is it not? If it is not, maybe we have to change it. So I am here. Thank you very much. So we can take questions. And one of the salient principles of regulative principle is called kirtan, which is musical rendition of mantra. So if we have few minutes, we'll do it. Okay?
It was a very nice class. I had two questions. One is that when we move to Karma Kanda to Sakam Karma Yoga, you told about, you gave the example of Ravana. He's like a natural language processor, he just understood all the Vedas. So he also has some information or knowledge. So how is that knowledge different from the Sakam Karma Yoga? That is one part. And second part is in Bhakti Yoga, we have implemented knowledge plus plus. So, like as I have heard, he says, Annavilashita Shunyam Gyan Karma. So there's a that knowledge, we say that knowledge we give up. So what is that?
Good question. Thank you. So, see, for Ravana, it is misdirected. Even if he has knowledge, he is utilizing that knowledge to disrupt the very fabric of the Varnashram society. And rather, he is not his yoga, we can call it a yoga, because he wants to kill Vishnu. And he understands how to kill Vishnu is to destroy that very fabric which supports Vishnu. So kill the Brahmanas, the cows, and things like that. So he is working in it's those guys who use the rules and the knowledge in a very flipped manner, right? So Ravana and even Kamsa, you can say Kamsa also, and so many other demons who Hiranyakashipu, another example. In fact, if you read the seventh canto and the instructions of Hiranyakashipu, you might think he's a quite realized person. So he gets the realized understanding in the next instant. He forgets that that realized knowledge actually came from Vishnu. It's the breath of Vishnu, and then he comes and goes to destroy Vishnu. So it's very concocted. The second question about the Gyan. See, again, Gyan is an operator overload. We talked about it, right? Sometimes one word actually means different words. Like Hari means 40 different things. It also means Menda, frog. So sometimes using the word Hari, there's a play also in poetry, meaning different things. Similarly, Gyan means a general knowledge. General knowledge. So what knowledge I have been quoting or writing here means in that sense. So a Brahman realized may not have the knowledge of variety of spiritual work. Okay, a Bhakti yogi will have more knowledge in that sense. But the Gyan Karma Jnanadritam, that Gyan means the process of Gyan Yoga. Okay? Because that is directed towards Brahman realized. That is not. Did you get it? Thank you. Yeah, very nicely put. Again, we cannot, these are very complex personalities, and we cannot also paint him. We were just showing one aspect. He was a great Shiv Bhakta, and he composed that Shiva Stotram, which is even sung in Shiva's worship. So, yes, he had nothing. Lord Shiva, one of the aspects of Lord Shiva is Sadashiva. Sadashiva is also beyond the material world, and in one sense, there's a oneness difference between Vishnu. So, but you can utilize it properly. That's for him. Saya. There's a verse in Bhagavad Gita. Indriyani pramadini balavat prasanam manaha. I don't know. Purushasya vipashchitaha. Even the most knowledgeable person, if he's as going, but if one of the senses is strained, it just pulls everything. Now, for him, it was like his strong desire, which kind of gives us good lesson that even if we are in a process in this ladder, right, still have to continue working till the last breath. That day we was telling the story that how there was one saint, he had a beard, and he was walking around in the town, he would worship in the town. Near him, somebody had a goat. The goat also had a beard. So when the saint would walk, that person laughs. So, iski dari asli? Whose beard is real? Yours or my goat's? And that you could understand what was the taunt. He did answer. When he was dying, he told, now Paul, now I'm confidently saying, my daddy is real. My beard is real. Which means prak sharir vimokshanat. Till the end, there is a fight. Hence, a sadhaka, practitioner, would never think himself or herself to be perfect. Even in general life, right? Those who think that they are perfect, their learning stops. And then they speak loud, but they don't have much thing inside. And that's called Fanaticism or fanaticism. Fanaticism, simple paribhasha is overcompensation for the lack inside. Yeah. So the learning stops and there is nothing inside. Something has to be overcompensated, right? That's why generally speaking louder. So sadhaka will never think he's siddha or perfect. Thank you. Does it help? All right. More reflections. Something is stuck with you. Something which you like, dislike. You want to? Mike.
Hare Krishna. Thank you, Harivamsha Prabhu, for eloquently presenting the yoga ladder. So with the terms which we all can relate to. So it's fantastic. For me, the takeaway is like how Krishna is so merciful that such a complex ladder which may take several lifetimes navigate and come. He also provided this elevator through which even within one life one can come up to this level of bhakti. So just like God is like saying like how this Prabhupada took that note and that what Krishna wanted, even though he had given the ladder as well as the elevator. But Prabhupada, even in the ladder also he kept talking about to the elevator as well.
Yeah.
Everywhere, even the ladder was indicating to elevator, so that we took that mode of compassion. And, thank you for
Thank you.
fantastic.
Thank you. Yeah, and it's so kind that our teachers, they also know us, so they move us, and situate us there. See? We may be doing different things, but then our teachers kind of move us, and now you work for Krishna. You sing, can you sing a bhajan? And at least do some chanting. That was also all the teachers, Prabhupada, all the different teachers, in all their purpose, they're just focusing on these. Smarana Manana is bonus. In fact, it's a gift. But these two things. So, I think I'm 3 minutes before. Yes.
Rosie, regulative principles you mentioned. So one of them is chanting. What are the other regulative
These are all the practices. Depends what is given to us. It could be deity worship, Shravanam, Kirtana, Vishnu, Smarana, Pada Sevanam, all different things. Yeah, and these are just 9. Then we can have so many different things also apart. Like somebody's regulated principle would be 1 hour in a day. I'll go and just sit in front of deities. That's a lot of, it takes a lot of strength, but it's 1 hour. And regulated principles means we count. Like we don't operate in the world saying that, right? Oh, whatever money comes and whatever flows, who counts? No, we count, right? So similarly, regular is counting. So that's why I indicated with a dumbbell. Better if we count that 5 times and 10 times, and then it could be our own dumbbell. Deity worship, chanting, some are like chanting freaks. I know one person, he is in Gurgaon or Delhi somewhere. He became so well connected in this company. His CEO said, I'll give you the entire after me. He said, I don't want anything. Just give me one more hour to chant. Now, after hearing this, the CEO said, okay, I'll give you double on. Now, this person's regulated principle is this. He comes to from on Friday, he'll come to Vrindavan. Will not go anywhere. 2 days, just sit in the room, chant. He's a householder. That's kids. But that's his connection, right? Tumble. Maybe he's chanting 192 rounds in 622 hours. So we can choose hours, right? We can choose what is working for us. Like some people are into kirtan. This is make them sit in kirtan or play kirtan, or some are into deity worship, some are making the dresses for the Lord. So we can choose our own. With that, we do like 1 or 2 minutes of kirtan because it is said in this particular age, kirtan is very powerful. There's a reason. Mind is involved, voice is involved, ear is involved. And if we are sitting with each other and seeing the Lord's eyes are also involved. So these 2 powerful senses are involved, eyes and ears. So if done with that, can be very okay. So we'll do a small tune. This tune is how many of you know Sadhu Sangha retreat? Anybody of you gone? Wow. Anybody of you you did go this year? Florida? Okay. So this tune, I was opening up the channel and I heard this tune there. It was quite hit there. I heard this tune in a place called Bhagavat Nivas. So I'm in Vrindavan, near ISKCON, there is a haven called Bhagavat Nivas, where only the renunciates stay, and it is very, 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 very green. You can see the temperature drop. It's beautiful. And in the evening, they sing this tune. And if you've been to Sadhu Sangha, this tune was sung. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Together. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Thank you. You can sing anything in this mantra. We celebrate so many birthdays, right? So instead of singing the usual song, we can sing what? Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Any other song also? That's why it's called omnibus mantra. Maha mantra. Maha means Maha. So that's a great gift given to our tradition and all the scriptures. And I invite you all to join in this climbing of the Mount Everest. Figure out where you are here. Where is your you are here? Thank you. Now, Shah.
Thank you very much, Prabhu. Thank you for inviting me. When I started my journey of Chopra, I had somehow believed all these are annual path. Karma Yoga, Jnana Yoga, Bhakti Yoga. And I felt mostly Bhakti Yoga is for emotional people, it's not for intellectual people. But as I studied Bhagavad Gita, as Prabhu very nicely explained infographics, we learned that actually this is the highest. Thank you so much, Prabhu. It was very easily explained for us. Very grateful to you. Let us chant 3 times Hare Krishna, Hari Bol for Prabhu for his time with us. Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol. Thank you so much. And we have a continuation of this session tomorrow at this studio at 2 p.m. Thank you, Hare Krishna.
Anybody is interested? Anybody is interested in the book? I can.
Oh, yes. Prabhu's new book, The Forest of Law. Suppose you want to just.
Yeah, I can make it. So this is a novel. It's written in a novel style. It's about the history of Vrindavan, 16th century, how Vrindavan was created, how the temples were created as a result of collaboration between Akbar, Mughals, Rajputs like Raja Man Singh and the Kachwaha dynasty, and the Goswamis of Vrindavan. So you'll meet close to 91 historical characters in this book, including Todarmal, Abul Fazal, everybody. And there are some fictitious characters whose journey is shown from their path, from one religion to other religion and crossing, and from Jnana Yoga to Bhakti Yoga, and finally to Vrindavan. So you might like it. All the historical details in this book are exact. I've even provided references in the end. The history has not been tampered with. It's exact. But then within that history, a character is created with whom we can identify. Oh, he's just like us. So maybe it'll be interesting to read. Thank you. Thank you.
Just taking the last $5. So many of you are interested, please let me know.
The online Prabhuji, not later.
Okay, fine. Thank you for that. It's not elaboration.